Hello, hello, hello. My name is Leona. I'm a spiritual channeler. And today I'm going to be tapping into the collective energy. I access the Akashic field to see what the energy is for June 2025. Okay, so the first thing that I'm seeing is what they showed me was quite simply just a feather sort of floating down and landing on the ground. And so what I'm getting from this energy is that what's happening in June is that a lot of people have just come off I would say, multi-year experience of a lot of highs and lows, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of chaotic energy, and it's sort of been a bit of a lull now. So there's a little bit of a nervous system resetting that has happened, at least within the last couple months for a lot of people. You might have noticed this, where you really just needed to rest. You really just needed to lay down and not do a lot and not be as active or as productive as you'd like to have been. But this sort of system reset has been necessary to lead you into where we are now in June. So what I'm seeing is like how the energy sort of has been settled down. June is the month where things are starting to pick up again. So previous to June, I think a lot of people have been experiencing this feeling of wanting to do something, knowing things need to be done, but not having either the energy or the motivation to do so. There's been a lot of sort of expression around feeling not productive or feeling like you're not doing enough. And it's really just this going with the flow energy that we are sort of in right now in June, that is okay to not have all the answers, and it's okay to not know where you're gonna go. So what I'm seeing with the energy is a lot of people have gone through a lot of chaos. Where people have been now is sort of this nervous system, where people are now is sort of this nervous system reset. And where people are going in June is sort of this pickup of energy. So when I got the example of the feather sort of falling on the ground, what I see now is that, the feather gets picked up by the wind. The wind represents the momentum. So this is the month of June is when people are going to start seeing the momentum pick up. And what that looks like is whatever sort of was a bit slower in the past, as far as like your productivity, you weren't finding much spark, you weren't finding much passion. Now is a month where you might be noticing things are starting to pick up a little bit. You feel like you understand where you're going. You're feeling like you have direction, but nothing is forced. It's happening at the sort of flow of the universe, flow of the energy, in a way that feels more natural. So the previous months have been a little bit of like a learning how to be present boot camp, where you might have felt that you were forced to just lay down. You were forced to just chill out. You were forced to just not do a lot. Even though your mind might have been rattling about you need to do this, you're not doing enough, all the self-talk, you sort of energetically have been forced to just lay low, regardless of if you wanted to or not. That was for a purpose. That was to reset the nervous system. That was to calibrate sort of the energy, calibrate you for what's to come, because the momentum is due to pick up, and get you into this space of learning how to go with the energy, learning how to flow with the energy. And that's something that takes practice, because a lot of you may have felt that living life up until this point has been a lot around what you need to do or what you should be doing versus what feels good, what feels right. And I think a lot of people have been forced to sort of be in this place where you kind of have to get used to going with the flow. You have to get used to going with the energy, whether or not you recognize it or whether or not you like to go with the flow. It was sort of a boot camp in order to make sure the body and the soul and the mind are connected. So with that said, a lot of people are now experiencing a lot more passion, feeling a lot more driven, and having a lot more directive. But I recognize that there's still a lot of maybe push and pull around what's it going to be like, where am I going, because a lot of people still don't have the plan yet, and that's completely fine. Going with the flow and going with the universe means that you're not going to have all the answers. So now is still a really good time to start planting the seeds and making sure that you're sort of dreaming about what you have coming, and what's possible for you, because I'm feeling like now with this momentum starting to pick up, you want to be able to put down some of the fears, the worries and concerns, and start picking up ideas around how you're going to go about things. However, you don't want to force anything. You don't want it to be inorganic, but you really want to start just going with what feels right, going with the momentum. So where I'm seeing things going with June, I'm seeing a lot more activities. I'm seeing a lot more fun for people. I'm seeing a lot more things for people to do. But I would say that for a summer month, being June, a very active and usually pretty outgoing month, I think a lot of people are going to sort of buckle down and focus on work, or focus on their plans or their ideas or their growth, whether that's spiritual development, personal development, whichever category it would be. A lot of focus on self. So wherever your focus on self takes you, I'm feeling like there's still going to be sort of socializing and activities, but maybe not as much as other summer months have held. Other than, of course, responsibilities around, you know, kids and family. Those are often still there, but there's going to be a highlight around the work that you're doing for yourself and the things that you're doing for yourself, and where you'd like to see yourself go. So this is a really good month to capitalize on this momentum. I would say that it's the beginning of much more momentum to come. But June is really going to kick things off. I think a lot of people have been feeling this momentum end of May even. So definitely ride the wave. You still don't want to push it. You still don't want to go overboard. You don't want to convince yourself you're not doing enough. You don't want to convince yourself to push yourself harder or further, because that creates burnout, and that sort of sets you back where you'd like to go, and also disconnects you from the natural flow. So there is a lot of emphasis around connecting with the trust. This sort of taps into how one would manifest sort of the future or the outcome that they would want. There's many steps to sort of how you would get there, but trust is a really big one, because once you sort of lean into the trust, you'll find that sort of produces the outcome you're looking for, or at least connects you to where you need to go next, and allows you to sort of be present, and just sort of be fulfilled with the moment. Your soul comes to earth to sort of grow and expand with these earthly experiences. So if you're continuously focused on the future, if you're continuously focused on what went wrong, or where how things aren't going necessarily the way you thought it would, you're not focused on what's right in front of you. So there is a lot of opportunity to sort of ride this momentum, but the momentum won't look necessarily like momentum you've seen in the past. There may have been times where you've found yourself being more productive than you are now. But for a lot of people, and this might be the same for you, is that this was a momentum driven by sort of the ego. And what I mean by that is like that voice in your head that's telling you you're not enough, you're not doing enough, used to be motivating enough for you to do what you needed to do. However, it was at the cost of your spirit, at the cost of your energy, and kicked you out of flow of what the energy, kicked you out of flow of the energy that's around you. So this type of momentum is a more natural momentum. It's you being very connected to the energy around you, you being very connected to your heart, your soul, and allowing yourself to flourish in a way that's more slow but fast, more in line with what's natural to you. With that said, just keep riding the momentum, and being present as you can, and really just feel into the experiences you're having every moment of the day, even if it's mundane, even if it's you know, not the greatest, but just know that it's all part of the soul's growth. And by the time you look up, you're going to be exactly where you'd like to go. In fact, it's going to be somewhere you didn't even think was possible. But ride the wave of June, enjoy yourself, and thank you for watching my video. I'll see you soon.